Yep. So this is Hamza Yusuf's dangerous, in quote marks, hate crime bill will target actors and comedians. So no, in answer to those questions, I will not be doing Edinburgh this year. So they've leaked some details of the training that Police Scotland are getting, and apparently cops will be allowed to arrest comedians if they are reported for communicating threatening or abusive material.
Yeah.
Because we live in the time we live in, people will definitely report. If they don't like it, they will report to say that they found it abusive.
They've already been reporting it, just to the owners of the venues and so on.
Yeah, but now they know you can call the police and say, oh, I felt threatened by this joke.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, he'll be arrested under this new legislation, which comes in on April the 1st, which is perfect. But it's comedy. If ever there's an area where you should be allowed to say something that you may or may not mean, you should be able to satirise or lampoon.
I mean, the reality of being a stand-up comedian is that there's always a mix, a balance. Some tend to be more spontaneous and ad-lib, and others tend to be more on rails, and I quite hold my hand up and say, generally speaking, know roughly what I'm going to say when I go on stage. But you've got to have the freedom to just, like, blurt something inappropriate and, you know...
And fail.
Yeah, exactly, and have the audience kind of tell you, well, that wasn't very funny,
yeah.
you know, and then you kind of, like, try and get it back.
It's a conversation with the audience, and you find each other's levels. But this is obviously very concerning. What's maybe even sadder, though, is that I don't think many comics will fall foul of it. The way that comedy's been going over the last however many years is that it doesn't push boundaries, it doesn't antagonise people, which personally is what I enjoy doing with my set. And so I think a lot of comics can be very safe. Following back from, we have someone like Jerry Sadowitz, who did push the line, seeing what happened to him and his literal cancellation 2 years ago, to see the cowardly and pathetic response from our colleagues and people like, and I'm going to call him out, Stuart Lee, one of my favourite comics, but his response, and he cites Jerry Sadowitz as one of his big influences, and he was a coward, pathetic, and didn't stand up. And if Stuart Lee, who's sort of, in a way, kind of a leader of the circuit of comics, many comics looking up to him, if he'd taken a stand at that point, people would have followed him, and they didn't.
I'm afraid you're right, and I also would say that the Edinburgh Fringe seems to be intent on shooting itself in as many different parts of its own foot as it can. I mean, obviously, rent is a massive deal now, and that's as a result of SNP legislation, which may have been well-intentioned, but seems to have killed the sort of subletting market that people relied on. And the other thing that's happening in the Edinburgh Fringe, which I will just mention, is the degree, because it's relevant here, the degree, which is perhaps a natural thing over the course of a long-running festival, to which power is being consolidated in a handful of very successful venues, very successful agencies taking up a number of acts. They will have the money, the power, to vet, essentially, and to drill. And this is going to hit any kind of
I think
dissidents that are outside of it,
Just on this story, this hate crime bill has been disagreed with by some performers, including the right-wing firebrand hate peddler, Mr. Bean actor Rowan Atkinson. So if he's against it...
He's always been very good about stuff.
No, he is good. Be interesting to see what Frankie Boyle has to say about it.